Okay, in this activity, we're going to be working with Photoshop and we're going to take your still life. So you should have taken some pictures of some objects. We're going to enhance those. So here on our menu, we're going to go to the Edit and Enhance Photos. Once this is open, we're going to open up our still life from your student folder. So you'll navigate to your student folder here. Go to Students and go to where your pictures are saved, and you're going to open up your still life. So our still life we'll need to edit because there might be some lighter or darker spots in our picture. We'll need to adjust for that. So in your activity guide, you're going to look at the levels practice. So we're going to look at our first photo here, and it's telling us to go to the Enhance option on our menu, and we're going to go to Lighting and then Levels. What it asks us to do is to look at this slider bar with these three options, these three buttons here. And what those buttons will do is they will change the lightness or darkness of our picture. And right now it's going to select everything in the picture. So if we take this dark slider and we move it over to the right, what it's doing is it's taking all of the colors and it's pushing them darker towards absolute black. So the further over we go, the closer to absolute black all of those colors are going to go. If we do the same thing here with the white option, we can slide that over to the left and it's going to make all of the colors closer to extreme absolute white. And then the gray handle here will kind of combine both of them. So if we look at these grapes here, it started off kind of dark. If we slide them over, slide this bar over, as you can see, it's easier to see the little details in the grapes because I am making those colors a little lighter. And these numbers are going to change. So the first one should be 0, the last one should be 255, and this one would be 1 to start with. So as I slide it one way or another, those numbers are going to change. I can select different colors and just change those. So if I select red, I can adjust and make red. So there's different options on here. We can adjust for blue, and we can kind of tint the colors. We can adjust. So this is based by color. The first one is just going to be black and white. So that's the one that the activity guide is going to have you use, is just for the black and white, the RGB, to adjust for light and dark areas. So the next section is the selection tools. So we'll exit out of this, and what it's asking you to do is to select just an area of your photo to change. And there's several different selection tools you can use. Some of those tools are right here in this area. And if you want to just select a rectangular or a circular area, you can just use one of those tools. So if I wanted just to pick this fruit here, I can make a circle around it and I can move it. I can put it where I need to, or if I need to redraw it, I can redraw it if it's not big enough. So I can just select one part of the picture, and as you can see, these black and white lines, those are called dancing ants, and those represent the selection area. So I can make sure I get my selection area in the correct spot. The other tool is the lasso tool, and that one you can actually draw around what you want to select. So up here on the select menu, I'm going to deselect that circle so it goes away. The lasso tool, the regular lasso tool, basically you just draw around your object, and you can pick just part of it, and literally it's like drawing with a pen or pencil. And you can select whatever part you want, so I can go around my shapes. It's a little hard to use with the mouse. It's not like holding a pen or pencil, so you may not get it exact, so it takes a little bit of practice. So once you let go, then it'll complete the path that you made. So trying to pick this melon back here, I can select that. If I want to use different lasso tools, they work a little differently, like the magnetic lasso tool. If you get right on the edge of something, and every so often it will make a little point, it'll try to help you connect onto that outline of that shape. So you can click and it will put a point in. So if you need to click, you can. So that just kind of helps you. And I'm going to press escape to stop. And then the polygonal lasso tool, you click every so often, basically it makes just a straight line. So you can go around it. It could be a little jagged, so not really good for rounded shapes if you're trying to do rounded. So it's just a bunch of little straight lines that you can use to go around an object. So not the best. You can use the magic wand tool. So it'll try to pick an area with similar colors, and you can change the what's called the tolerance. So if we put the tolerance at 0, it'll only pick a very narrow area of color. If we put that number up higher, let's do 80, it'll pick a lot more colors that are similar. So you have to use the correct tolerance with this tool, or else you start picking stuff you don't really want. And then if I hold the shift key down, I can add to it. And I can just keep clicking. And as you can see, it starts to want to select part of this orangey fruit here. And that's no good. So you just kind of have to practice. And so those are the ones that I would use the most. So you can select your different tools and different parts by using these different selection tools. So I'm going to pick the fruit here, the grapes, and I'm going to use the magic wand tool, and I just want to get just the grapes. So I'm using the shift and the alt keys. So I can go back and forth between adding or subtracting. There's a little sign next to the magic wand tool, so you see they'll change depending on what button I'm pressing. So either add or subtract from what I'm wanting to select. So I'm going through and just adding all these little spaces. And as you can see, I added more than I needed, so I can go back, undo some of these steps. And sometimes I just have to go in and use a different tool, add some of these spots it doesn't want to get. So I'm holding down the shift to get all the rest of these parts that are being stubborn. So I can just make a circle around those and add those in. Okay, so then once you have that, then it's asking you to go back to the enhance and going back to the lighting and going to levels. And now it's just going to allow me to change the brightness of those grapes, not the rest of the picture, because the grapes were the part that kind of didn't show as well. So I can add those, and I can slide the bars over, and as you can see, the grapes stand out a little bit more now. So now when I go and deselect, I can see the details a little bit better. They're not so dark. So that's one of the uses for the levels and histograms is what we're working on here. So you can change those different features.